of seeing it. It's a matter of we're talking about the laws of physics as they're currently like
Yeah.
known. As the laws of physics are currently known, it doesn't look like there's any free will.
Okay.
So what you'd have to do to demonstrate
So
we
why
have free
are
will
some
is
people adjudicated guilty?
I'll tell you why. I will absolutely tell you why. Number one.
I'm listening.
Number one, the convicting people in a barbaric, archaic system. So that's why we do that, because it's a barbaric, primitive, ignorant system. Number two, we convict people because most people are delusional. They believe in free will. So you get a bunch of crazy people in a room, you say, oh, let's convict this person. He has free will. Yeah, I believe that too. They're playing off each other. It's like the inmates running the asylum.
No, I hear what you're saying.
To be clear, your opinion is that all of the justice system is just an abuse of automatons?
Essentially, yeah.
Stop it.
It's not as like reductionist as that, but yeah, essentially, the vast majority of things they think people are convicted for are not agents. They themselves were like victims of their circumstances. And for the part, like I said, the amount of people you have to actually put in jail is little. You can put in jail like people who are like serial killers. You don't need to put in jail people who are like smoking weed and stuff.
Well, that doesn't really happen that much anymore. So in your opinion, then everyone is equally noble.
No, they're not equally noble or equally vicious. They're just neutral.
Okay, so everyone is equally neutral. No one is more noble than anyone else or ignoble than anyone else. They're all neutral. And if that's true, Abe, why would you prefer to hang out with one person over another? Or do you have that choice?
Yeah, I was going to ask about loyalty. Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
No, well, I don't know if he's getting a phone call, but I was just going to ask, like, if he thought that you could be loyal to the person or, like what he thought about that.
I think his general opinion about loyalty or anything like that a person chooses is just antecedents, right? Like, why do you select this person? Well, because your genetics are predisposed to liking that person. You had no choice in the matter. That's what he's trying to say every time.
But McZed, you don't believe that, do you?
It's also the case that that person behaved in a manner that convinced you to like them, right? So you didn't just choose to like them. There was something that occurred through your experiences that convinces you this person is worthy of your friendship. It's not that hard. And that's not free will.
If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
I love Rush. Yeah, choice is not free will.
JCC, can you say you love Rush, please?
No, Rush, the band Rush.
Yes.
Canadians. Although the new drummer, Annika, is she is she Canadian? She's awesome, by the way. I'm looking for tickets to go see them with my daughter.
Yeah, but JCC, look, I think that, look, there definitely is the argument about free will, right? But the thing is that you, and I think, Abe, to a certain extent, you don't live your life like with this at the forefront of your mind, right? Because I have witnessed both of you get really annoyed and have heated discussions and arguments with people, even on this app.
Yeah.
And
okay.
the idea that if you think that no one has free will, then they're definitely just going to articulate the things that they articulate, and there is no reason then to get annoyed at people, right? If you think that they don't have free will to think or speak otherwise, then why would you get pissed off at someone for articulating what they were always going to articulate if they don't have the will to do otherwise?
I get annoyed at the stupid shit people say, like someone like Mikhail or Rabbi or Hans. Yeah, so, okay, judge me for that, whatever. Do I care?
But I'm saying, why do you get? It's not
why? Because I'm a reactionary individual. I'm an outspoken person. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with sharing. I don't have a problem with, like you said right now, like muting this dumbass for interrupting me. I don't have a problem with being true to myself and exposing my emotions and my feelings at that moment in time.
I will say
my
this.
point.
He's an automaton, according
Go
to his.
ahead, please.
I didn't call myself an automaton. I don't necessarily agree with that. Maybe it's maybe there's a little, issues with it, whatever.
Well, I will say this, James. Over the years that I've been interacting with you, I have noticed that you're far more deferential to women on this app than you are to men.
Well, that's probably based on the epigenetic antecedents.
Yeah, it's because we're hot.
Hang on. Regardless of their biologics, if someone is behaving badly and it sparks reaction from me, I'll go off on male or female. So I don't care what you're saying.
I've never noticed you do it with a female.
But Jason is not making the choice. It just happened. That's what he is, a thing that responds in this way.
Yeah, I'm presented with a situation, and my reactions are my reactions based upon all the antecedents and epigenetics that lead up to this particular moment in time. I have no control. I can control them within certain limits, but deep down inside, if I bite my or mute myself, I could be screaming, and then I can come off mute. So yeah.
Okay, well, I beg.
I was in the military for 8 years. You think I didn't hear something from a dumbass higher up in the military that I bit my fucking tongue?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. So yeah, I have the ability to control my emotions. However, when I'm in an environment where I can, let shit fly, hell yeah, I'm gonna let it fly, baby.
Yeah, but my point is, right, like you verbalize and you're using the vernacular like people don't have the ability to do otherwise to what they're doing. And then you get pissed off for people are doing and saying the things that they're doing and saying. And it just seems fairly counterintuitive. If you believe that they don't have the ability to do otherwise, then you get pissed off at them for doing the things that they are destined to do under your view, right?
Sure. And I'm destined to say my commentary because they say something stupid, it doesn't make sense, I'm going to call it out.
Yeah, but it's just really counterintuitive. If you truly believe that they do not have the ability to do otherwise, and you still get pissed off at them,
okay,
it doesn't quite make sense, right? Can you see that?
It does make sense because I can be reactionary to something that I'm exposed to that is nonsensical.
Why should it make sense if you're not choosing to do it?
Oh, okay. I don't understand
What the fuck is going on now?
Because he's basically saying like, if you understand that like this metaphysical free will is not really a thing, you should basically be a Buddhist monk. You should be the Buddha or something.
And people have feedback coming from the mic. If you don't hear it,
yeah,
we do. Can you mute?
Mickey. So yeah, just because. So obviously, and so if if somebody does piss you off and you do react, I mean, it's obvious we come from fucking apes. We still have monkey brains.
We are apes.
Are reactive and stuff. We didn't evolve to like figure out the truths of the universe or to the laws of physics or whether this metaphysical free will shit makes any sense. We didn't evolve for that. So we're still gonna have our ape brains. That's not gonna change. But
see, if we evolved from monkeys, why are still monkeys around?
We didn't evolve from
we
monkeys.
evolved from sperm. Why is there still sperm?
Oh my gosh.
Actually, in a way, I kind of agree with you guys. Like, that's, I don't know. I think that your chemicals, your environment, all this stuff can affect you. But the difference is, I think once you're aware of it is when you can start to change it. I think you can change it, but you have to be aware of it, and you have to constantly remind yourself.
Yeah, is that these guys think like basically you cannot like I don't know you cannot improve yourself or something like that. Of course, that's not at all what we're saying. It's just
to what you said. If we evolved from sperm, how about if we evolved from babies? Why do we still have babies? I think that makes sense.
Did you actually say that?
The sperm parts, I have to
Oh my
respond
God.
with that. I have to respond with that, you know?
Evolved from babies. What does that mean?
Oh, it's okay. The evolved from monkeys. Why they're still monkeys is as stupid as what he said. It was a funny joke. I got it. But so yeah, it's just you can improve yourself, but like yeah, probably within some limits. You will be limited. You will be restrained by your biology, by your psychology, by your culture, your society, I mean, just pretty much everything. The point is this idea that like you can just ignore biology, ignore psychology. That's what we're saying doesn't happen.
Well, see, that's
That you
kind of
can't
why.
just make free choices, like free of all of that. That's never gonna happen.
But you're
But it
talking
does sound
about
like
nature versus nurture.
the constrictions of the biology and the physics, there is some small measure of choice that you have. Sounds like you're saying that. I'm not sure.
I mean, this becomes like semantics really fast. In one sense, yes. In one sense, no. Like this is a difficult conversation that I've had with you. So, the most free choice you think you will ever make. Make that, bro. Your static's crazy. Okay. If I put chocolate ice cream and vanilla ice cream in front of you and tell you to choose, in the moment, yes, you think you are making the most free choice. I mean, there's you're not gonna win anything. There's no gun to your head. You think you're making the most free choice, and you're saying, if I have this free choice, then surely I can freely choose whatever I want. Like, what you don't understand is, even in that moment when you choose vanilla, you don't really know why you chose vanilla. You can justify it to yourself, kind of, even before or after the fact. But let's say if you were just more, if you're more, what's the fucking word? Not destined, of course not. But it's just if you're just a person that likes vanilla ice cream more, I mean, you didn't choose that. Like, everything that you're not aware of all the influences that's gonna make you choose vanilla ice cream. It could be everything from just the way your taste buds are, which obviously you don't choose those. You don't choose how sensitive they are to chocolate versus vanilla. All your memories in the past. You could have, like, I don't know, on your first date with your girlfriend, you went out for vanilla ice cream, and your whole life those memories make you just want vanilla ice cream more. So you're not noticing all that stuff in the background as you choose vanilla ice cream. Sure, you're gonna be like, oh, I mean, in the moment, you're gonna say, oh, I can choose either one. This is as free of a choice as I'll ever make. I choose vanilla. But you're not aware. This is the antecedents that JCC keeps talking about. That you're not aware in the moment. And the point is, you cannot get away from that. You cannot ignore your biology, your psychology, your culture, you cannot ignore physics, you cannot ignore any of that.
Are you trying to make an
it sounds
argument that you're limited to the choices of your confinements of each scenario?
It sounds like you're saying that when I say select vanilla over chocolate, I know that I want the vanilla more than the chocolate. But you're saying, even though I know that, and it sounds like you're saying a little bit, I might be making a choice there. I don't know all of like the evolutionary and antecedent history that resulted in me knowing that I wanted vanilla. And like, I'm not so sure I need to be aware of like all of history to know that I want the vanilla.
You don't, or you're not. Yeah,
But what the
But
evidence also
what
saying
I'm trying to say is like, why isn't my selection of vanilla simply like the final result, the final calculation of all the antecedent stuff, like what I ignored, what I paid attention to, what affected me, what didn't affect me, and then the final result was vanilla. I didn't calculate it, and like I couldn't prove all of.
I don't think that's what Sam means, right? When he says you can't ignore,
And
yeah, he's just like misspeaking. He means like you can't escape, right? Like all those antecedents. He doesn't actually mean you can't ignore, because he thinks you do ignore for the most part all those things.
And he's also saying that you didn't have the ability to do otherwise. So you didn't have the ability
Yeah,
to not.
TM's a determinist, right? So yeah, he doesn't think you decide anything really.
Well, see, the thing is, the free will, people like Rainbow also in the comments was saying, oh, if you make a choice, that's what free will is. I've tried explaining this to Mixed. I couldn't do it before, I'm not gonna do it now. But making a choice, we're not saying, like, so even if you believe in some self-determinism, making a choice, that's not what's in question. You can believe in free choice or free action or free, I don't know, even the word free is still a little bit problematic here, but we're not saying there's no choice, there's no action. Of course we make choices all day, every day. It's the like background influences which ultimately determine the choice that you made. I cannot be more courageous than like my psychology and biology allow me to. I cannot be smarter than my psychology, and you are limited by your choices, and all these things basically determine your choices.
But
still make choices. Of course,
you're limiting the potential for like an area like, let's say, strength or wisdom or whatever. You're limiting that based on like an objective future result that you don't have access to. You'll never know how smart you could be. Like, how is that not then? One second. If it's true,
cap on how smart I can be.
Okay, CM, I agree with you. I know that there's a cap on how smart you can be. However, you don't know what that cap is. None of us do. So I don't understand what the limit. I'm trying to finish the question or the statement. I don't understand what you're trying to say is limiting your capacity, wisdom, other than you, and then this other artificial, like hypothesized cap on your intelligence that you admit you'll never have access to. So like, it just seems like it's you deciding how smart you're going to be based on your own commitment to it.
Well, obviously I went to school. I am trying to be as smart as I could possibly be. I don't need to know why. I don't know why I need to know that cap. I just know that cap exists. I don't. Of course I don't know what it is.
You're trying to be smart. You came to the right room.
If you know that the cap exists, and I agree with you that the cap exists, but you also don't know where the cap exists, then knowledge of the cap seems irrelevant to you. Like, you would simply go as high as you could. And in terms of like possible alternative realities, it does seem like you would be able to cap out higher or lower because you don't know what the actual cap is.
Sure. And if I can live my life over again, maybe I could go higher or lower. That is also going to be determined by my environment, my culture, my biology, that's also going to be determined by that. That's the point. You put me, no matter how high my cap is, you put me as like a slave in the Middle Ages, it's not going to go very high. Point is, people pretend like these influences or these things that are, you're basically conditioned by your everything, right? All the things I mentioned, your psychology and biology and culture. You are conditioned by that. I know it doesn't feel like it. Everything you guys are saying is completely consistent with the illusion of free will. Every single thing you're saying.
Yeah, but CM, everything you're saying is equivalent with the illusion of no free will. Like, it's unprovable either way. We're all talking about, could you have done otherwise? And you'll never know. You have no proof that I couldn't do otherwise. I have no proof that I could do otherwise.
Sure. Yeah, I don't see the problem. So this is what Sutra was talking about like, in the moment or just on a day-to-day life, even the people who acknowledge, again, all these background influences and that are determining 99, if not 100% of actually everything, they don't act like it or whatever. Yeah, they don't. again, we have monkey brains. We're gonna react. We have we can't. That's part of it. We cannot get away from our biology. That's part of it. And we didn't evolve to think like this. I mean, he was basically saying you should be walking around like the Buddha or Jesus if you recognize there's no free will. Like, that's not the case. Yeah, and so in the moment, like I said, so yeah, just because I acknowledge this stuff, yeah, doesn't mean I limit myself. I don't. I do basically. I live like I'm making choices, like I am choosing the choices that I make. I completely live like that. Everybody does.
Right, but isn't that like for you irrational? Like, shouldn't you actually be just
no? Should I be
not?
the Buddha?
Meaning not. What I mean is like not striving or reaching the confines. You just say like, I am, and then you just keep choosing and doing stuff. Right? It wouldn't be a rational thing because you're not choosing it or doing it. It's not like a choice you're making, and then any amount of quote unquote rationalism applied to it is just your like narrative explaining what you were always going to do. And I'm saying, why doesn't that change your perspective on how you live your life? Meaning any consideration is a waste of time. You're just going to do what you do.
Correct.
Including that consideration.
This is back to the suture point, like Alex in the comments just said, the illusion of free will makes people choose not to participate. I don't think that's the case at all. Nobody lives like they just say, I don't have free will. I'm just not going to get out of bed today. Like, nobody does that. And so that I agree with. I do live like I am making choices. Of course I do. But this other point that I should be like the Buddha and somebody cuts me off in traffic. And what it does allow you to do is kind of look back and understand. It just gives you more empathy, more understand that like people just aren't like these moral monsters. Like I don't know, this idea of like complete judgment, like just retributive justice, things like that. It will give you more empathy towards those things, that to know that that is just like Abe was saying, an archaic way of that we formed our society thousands of years ago, and we're still living with it today. So yeah, if I join a race and I don't win, like some people will be like, oh well, I didn't work hard enough, or it's all my fault. This is in what I'm talking about. You would just know, like, no, is really I was limited by all of my biology, and no matter how hard I work, but this doesn't mean I'm not gonna work hard, and I'm not gonna work as hard as I not only want to, but like am able to. That you will still do that. You're just not gonna like. Well, judgment is gonna it becomes completely like reinterpreted. The reason is, like I mentioned, we're just stuck with this kind of system that we have, like of justice and all that. To change it would be a gigantic paradigm shift. But I don't know. We're talking about it because we think it's possible. It's not going to be possible in our lifetimes, or who knows how many hundreds of years. But I don't think it's impossible either. We've done it before. So yeah. So just because you know that, like we didn't evolve to know the laws of physics or any of that. Yeah, we didn't evolve to like recognize these metaphysical claims or whatever are false. We pretend they're true, but they're not true. That doesn't change. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of people think just knowing this should change everything, and it really doesn't. It just changes how you see things, not actually what happens.
I was wondering, a sort of a different question that popped up as I was thinking about free will. If I choose to think of an elephant, is that a choice, or is that like a result of antecedents causing my brain to create firings that I convince myself that I'm thinking of an elephant? No physical result occurs that anyone else can observe. Is that like a choice?
Again, the whole thing of choices does have to be reinterpreted. Why didn't you choose to think of a leopard?
No, I'm saying like from
Or
a
a giraffe.
thing, right? If we're saying like physics and antecedents and epigenetics, then like what are we saying then on a physical level is happening when I think of an elephant?
Well, again, why didn't you choose to think of a leopard or a giraffe?
I can't give you an answer, man. I just thought of an elephant. So like I'm just saying like I'm taking it as a given. I thought of an elephant.
No, I even thought of an elephant. But yeah, but obviously, you know a lot more animals than just elephants.
That's true.
You know panthers and giraffes.
Right, but the main point is that nothing happened in the world. Electrons fired in my brain. I told you that it was me thinking of an elephant. But what is that?
You cannot think your thoughts before you think them.
Okay.
So that elephant just popped in your head. You cannot think your thoughts before you think them.
Can I
You're saying
interject
there was
for
no
a second?
control from the elephant? I can't decide to fantasize about an elephant?
No, yeah. I'm saying, yeah, you didn't choose, really. In that moment, you didn't choose.
You want to say that like all daydreams are like mental compulsion from antecedents, something like that?
Yeah, of course. Oh, just this
So then I have like
swirling
no,
around in your subconscious,
but then like
pops into consciousness.
but the thing is, like, if it's in my imagined space and I'm creating things, like let's say a building, right? Like a building. We've built buildings. It starts with an idea on paper with a guy with a pencil, right? Was that like a force that the sperm and the egg had to get together to create this architect who would go to this school and have to create this building so that the minerals that were mined in this part of the world would be put together and then turned into glass, and then there's the skyscraper so that the Empire State Building stands because of a dream that some guy was forced to have when he built the building.
Well,
Like,
I don't get it.
I'm not sure what you're even saying at a certain point, Sam. Like, you clearly have control over your own mind, like your thoughts, right? Like, if I tell you to think of an elephant, you can.
Depends on what you mean by control. What control did you have to say the elephant in that moment? That just pops into your head.
I was thinking about when you were talking about how, like, it seemed to me that you were consoling yourself on a potential failure, like say running the race and losing, by imagining an objective truth that you would always lose. That it was beyond control and there was no actions you could have taken to result in for victory. And you know, that seemed to me weird because like you're inventing a fantasy, like this imagine.
You agreed with me that you're
love.
Physical
No,
and
no, I
biological
said to you then. I said I agree with you that there is a cap, but I pointed out that you don't know it, and any like reference that you're making to it is like a fantasy. So you never know what your actual cap is. You could have won the race. You don't know that you had to lose, but after you
can still work as hard as you want.
Oh, there's no way I could have won, or yeah, I could have won if I did this and that and this and that.
No, see, that idea, I don't think I agree with.
And then after I thought about you fantasizing to console yourself over losing a race, I realized that that was all going on in your own head. And I wondered whether or not you were making that choice, or whether you were forced to console yourself to losing a race by imagining that there was some cap that you were incapable.
That's me reflecting on the reality and the facts of the situation. That's not...
But I'm saying, why are you reflecting? You have no choice. Your antecedents, you're just like plagued by all the previous things. And I'm saying, like, those are all just thoughts that pop into your head without any control of yours. To what degree are you controlling your thoughts? Which is why I asked, like, I'm thinking of an elephant. I just like decided I'm gonna think of an elephant right now. You tell me, was that like compelled upon me? Did I have to be part of this conversation and all of the atoms of the universe so that I would then think of this contrary point of an elephant that again doesn't change the world except for this conversation, which I guess you'd say physically has to happen. But like in the purity of the question, you just think of a thought in your head. You don't talk to anybody else. You just have your own thing. Here's what it would look like with a building or planes or wings. You just think it. And you never change anything of the world around you. And I'm saying, what in your like basis for determining
that point was separate.
this world,
You cannot.
what allows you
You
to
cannot
claim
think
that
your
those thoughts
before
are
you
not
think.
choices?
Do you agree with me that you cannot think your thoughts before you think them?
Yes,
Uh,
yes, we heard that one, CM.
All right. So, I mean, yeah. Same thing if I took
I don't
take a city,
understand why
name any city. Like, you, the thought of a city coming to your consciousness is just gonna pop up. You don't know all the reasons why, but I'm saying there is reasons why. If you said Paris, it might have been.
Yeah, and go ask the guy creating it. He has as much reason as we will ever find because he's the only one fantasizing about the elephant or the building or the plane. You're saying don't go to that guy. He's not a good source. You got to go to antecedent causes. And I'm saying that's the guy with the pen in his hand. What are you talking about?
I don't understand this point.
Can you guys play with this for a second? It's the same thing. It's just a little separate. So CM, don't think of a rabbit.
Okay.
Were you able to not think of a rabbit? Or when I said that, did you think of a rabbit? Don't think of a
I
rabbit.
thought of the word rabbit when you said rabbit, and then I thought to not think of a rabbit, but if you're going to consider that thinking of a rabbit.
Okay, play with that. Okay, play with that one. Because like if you're told not to think of something, can you not think it? If you're told to think of something, if you think of it yourself, so where's the free will in those two?
Well, that's what he's arguing.
Kind of
that
agree.
There is no free will. But I have a quick question for you, CM. What's the difference between your brain and an animal brain? Because I bet you can see that an animal does not have free will.
Of course. I mean,
Okay.
you think
So
animals have
how is
free
your
will?
brain? How is your brain different than an animal's? Because what you're saying is, just like an animal, you don't have free will
I do
either.
have an animal brain. What
What?
do you mean? My brain is an animal brain. It's obviously bigger. It's obviously.
No.
It's like saying,
Okay.
what's the difference between the original Game Boy and a PlayStation 5? Like,
Okay. Well, I never played those, so I wouldn't know. So the
there's just
thing
a cheap
is,
computer from the 70s and a MacBook from today.
okay. So you think that your brain is just as sophisticated or the same as a dog's brain?
Yeah, except for the
No.
frontal cortex.
No, a dog's brain.
Okay, that's
is way
good.
tinier.
Yeah. So you have a
has
frontal
way-
cortex. How does your frontal cortex change from a dog's brain?
It had the mass of that part of the brain allows for that type of thinking. Different parts of the brain do different.
Or I meant, how does it manifest itself? Like, you know, how come you don't think like an animal then, CM?
I have a different brain than a dog. Like, are you saying I have a dog brain? I think I have a dog brain.
Well, we agreed that animals don't have free will, but I actually think they do to some extent. So,
What?
like
you think dogs have free will? Wow, that's funny.
do you hang out with animals very often?
Okay, that they react and they kind of seem they appear to make a choice. You put two different snacks in front of them, and they seem to make a choice. That's not free will. Actually, if the dog could freely choose, he'll choose both. But just because he has to, just physically, he has to eat one before the other.
Have you ever heard the parable of the logical jackass?
No, I'm interested.
Funny story. There was once a perfectly logical jackass that stood perfectly equidistant between two perfectly good bales of hay. So he starved to death.
Sure. Okay, that's pretty funny. Yeah, that obviously doesn't happen, right? That's never happened. Or will never.
Right, that's why it's a joke.
I know. But I'm still confused as to what Hans is saying. I mean, so I think my brain is also an animal brain, of course. It's obviously a way more evolved. The range of possibilities. I can do literally millions of things dogs can't do. But so I mean, yeah. 'Cause I don't know if he was saying if I have the same brain as a dog. Of course not. But I also have just a more evolved brain, but it's still an animal brain. So
I mean, it's a human brain, right? You'd have to distinguish it from
humans are animals. Humans are
I
animals.
think that the human brain is a type of animal brain, but you'd still have to distinguish it.
Yeah, I have a human brain. Humans are animals. I have an animal brain. But I want to talk about what free will do you think a dog has, Hans? You there? Mr. Hans.
Not seeing, did Hans ever demonstrate his claim, or does he just constantly go back to saying, well, you could?
To some
Well, the last thing he said was, you don't think dogs have free will? I'm like, obviously not, right? And his last question was, like, what differentiates, I guess, your brain from a dog's brain? And I'm like, really?
What differentiates your brain? Nothing differentiates your brain from a dog.
No, I mean, obviously our brains are way more evolved to do way more things, and so like our range of possibilities are bigger, but ultimately
Yeah, but dogs can do a lot of things we can't do, so we're just...
The physics and all that stuff going on in the dog's brain is identical to the one going on in my brain. It's just my brain is bigger and more evolved and just can do more things.
That would be cool if the laws of physics somehow were bent in the minds of highly evolved animals. That'd be cool.
No, so I talked to T about this. This is what some people think. People who believe in this, like libertarian free will. I mean, some of them will even agree. I mean, you look out in the universe as far as we can see, and all they see is, just nature chugging along in its deterministic way or whatever. And everywhere in space, everywhere in the world, it's all determined, it's all whatever. But magically, when you enter the space in between your ears, now there's like magical stuff going on in there. Like the laws of physics just apply everywhere in the universe, but magically just stop working inside your skull, and in there it's like different laws.
It sounds silly. You I said it only sounds silly when you call it magical. If you said that there was some biological mechanism that found a means of bending certain rules of physics, like let's say a bird flying, you wouldn't be so like against it.
Birds are not bending rules of physics. They're using the rules of physics.
Birds do not defy laws of physics. They use the laws of physics.
Mind, it's possible that there's some technology biologically accomplished that results in the laws of physics operating differently in the mind than out of it. That's a possibility. It doesn't have to be magic. It could just be a function, a processing. Now, it could be, I don't know.
Hold on, that's literally not a possibility. Wait, Mzed.
Yeah.
Even in things that are extreme in nature, like black holes don't even defy the laws of physics. Okay, so certainly our brains are not doing that.
I mean, like black holes break different laws, but like
They don't.
why
They don't break laws. That's what I'm trying
They
to say.
break models
They
that
do.
we make.
But it doesn't
Even
matter.
black holes don't break laws of physics,
Okay.
so therefore our brains certainly don't.
Why should that be true?
It just is true. I'm not saying why should it be true.
Oh,
It is true.
Or
Black
like,
holes don't break the laws of physics.
Black holes are physical
Fine,
phenomenon.
let's listen to me for a second, T. I'm accepting your evidence that black holes do not break the laws of physics.
Okay.
Why should that then indicate that a mind cannot?
Because black holes are far more extreme. And if they can't break the laws of physics, certainly our
Like-
brains with like a
Well,
couple
it's a
neurons
subjective
can't.
statement.
It's a dumb argument, dude.
Okay, so you think
Minds,
something...
brains are also evolved within the laws of physics.
Right.
That's true. So are black holes.
Yeah, none of them break nature. I mean, they only
No, that's
exist
common.
within nature. They can break our models. Yeah, black holes break Newtonian gravity, but
So then maybe
model.
same.
Say what?
Maybe the mind does something similar.
No, so it can break a model that we make, like some.
Okay, so then maybe the mind breaks the model of general biological minds.
But if it breaks the model, doesn't mean it's like breaking nature. It just means we don't know all the laws or whatever that is. Doesn't mean it's breaking nature.
Again, I would agree that black hole breaks nature, and apparently nature can be broken, and the mind could do it in its own.
Black holes don't break nature. What are you talking about?
Great. So then nothing
They are
breaks.
nature.
All natural.
They are nature. So they can break again.
It was your mind.
You see that Pikachu?
I think we've actually been too gratuitous to this idea of breaking nature. You cannot break nature by definition.
Like you can think supernatural things exist, but
Yeah, you can not know. So just mute up for a sec. Your mic is. You can't break nature because everything is natural. So no matter what happens here, right? There are just deeper nature that we learn about. Nothing breaks nature. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So I don't even know what you mean when you say maybe it breaks nature.
I'll elaborate on what I mean by break nature. I use break nature because, what's it called? Sam was saying, like, break the models. But you could simply say weirdness, right? I'm not saying anything breaks nature. Nature always happens. It's all natural. But some things in nature are weirder than others. And in fact, we look for the most common things in all of nature. And then when we find truly underlying common things, we label them laws of physics. And that's fine, which is why you're trying to say you can't break the laws of physics. But again, those are just things we discovered. But even with all of those laws that you identify, they can still be applied in weird ways.
Yeah,
Just
but
like black hole.
Weird doesn't
Isn't it?
mean. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But
The mind couldn't organize physics in a weird way.
no, that's fine. But saying weird, we were talking specifically about whether we have like quote freedom. So I don't care whether they're made in a weird way. I would agree with you on that maybe. It's just that it still doesn't prove free will. No matter how weird it gets, it doesn't prove free will.
yeah, weird
Why-
doesn't mean unnatural.
Right? For freedom, you could manipulate physics better than the other creatures around you. Seems like you'd be very free.
Well, I am. Depending on how we define
you just have
it.
you'd have a niche of like an evolved adaptation that's highly useful. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how we define free, I can, in a sense, agree. I am more free than a fucking dog or a frog or anything like that. But I'm not. There is nothing unnatural going on in my brain that's not
So yeah,
going.
even that, I know what you mean when you say you're more free than a dog. But even
Yeah,
that is
that's what
highly
I'm saying.
subjective. Like you're not as free to smell like a dog does. You can't know all the things that a dog knows by smelling. So you're not free in that sense.
Yeah, that's what I said. It depends on how we define it, which is just how we define
You
it.
probably mean like freedom to do stuff I like reading books. But like dogs don't even like reading books. So it just depends on what you value.
Yeah. So even when I said like my brain is more evolved than a dog's, in reality, a dog is just as evolved as I am. Everything alive today is equally evolved to do whatever it's doing. Uh, and people think like evolution is like this, like this thing, this process. Like I don't know. They think that humans are more evolved than I don't know than animals. We're not.
Correct, 100% correct. And that's what's crazy. Is like if you look at a little pug dog and you think, oh, I feel so bad for it. It's so weirdly evolved, and like its tongue is hanging out, and it's getting a heart attack. I can't walk up the stairs. Like, look at humans. Feel sad for humans, because this is not like our final form or like some like amazing form. Like, we are in many ways handicapped just as much as bulldogs. Richard did that thing on his PTR.
We just need like a whole new language to be able to talk about this, because like people like Big Zed. Big Zed he's really smart, but it's just same thing with Rainbow. Like she's like, they get stuck on like, oh, if you make choices, that means there has to be free will, and like no.
That's me. That's my truth.
Yeah, language. I think we should wage like a war against language, because all the language we're using was made up by like dumb, superstitious religious people for like thousands of years. It really fucked up our ability to like talk, and we need a new language. Seriously.
Well, you could always just stick with Esperanto. That was a
No, I don't mean switching like the language in like Russian versus English. I mean like we need better words that are highly specified.
I don't think you the original Esperanto.
Why don't we just like learn telepathy?
I would love to learn telepathy. I don't think it's a skill that can be acquired.
Hey, Rainbow did say something pretty interesting. Yeah. What was it? He told me like, don't think of a rabbit.
Don't think of a rabbit.
And then like asked, well, did you have the free will to not think of the rabbit? It's a little like murky. Like just by you saying the word, or even if I think in my head, don't think of a rabbit, are you gonna consider that?
Yeah, 100%. Like by the way,
thinking of a rabbit.
This is the reason also religion is stupid. It's why repression doesn't work when they say like, don't think of sex, don't have sex, don't ever think of sex, don't do anything with sex. By just saying the words, you've already made the people think about it. So every time Jesus said, like, if you lust after a woman, you've committed adultery in your heart, you're literally making them lust. It's so stupid.
I took your free will away from you when I said don't think of it.
Yeah, I never had it for you to take. So
that's true. But yes, you're a robot because I know. Again, these are just horrible words that we're using.
Yeah, they're horrible words. We need better words. And what's crazy is I was doing my research on like this TikTok phenomenon, and it's just concerning. Like I said, that I see conversations losing more and more of their substance and getting more and more like empty rhetoric. So this is the way that religions, like if you listen, you said you went to Catholic Mass, right? 98% or 99% of like a Catholic Mass speech is just fluffy words. Like they don't mean anything. They're like, and God told Abraham, sacrifice your child. And Jesus tells us that if we sacrifice our desires and, cleave unto him. Like, what are you saying? As a logical positivist, right? These are not analytic or empirical. So what are you saying? So that's the point. I think if we yeah.
I mean, I guess like I say, even to say like, I mean, they're just telling stories.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's all it is. But dude, I heard the funniest joke. I saw some comedians say this. He was saying, I really kind of respect like these preachers that like these guys that decide to be, I don't know, like preachers or priests like today. of and like using the Bible to like try to help people because so I don't know the example he gave was so like there's some dude who's like telling all his problems to the priest and obviously a bunch of modern problems. He's oh man I don't know I'm gonna make it up right now. I was on TikTok and my girlfriend didn't add me and like I don't know just the most modern shit in the world you can imagine. And like he's like the priest was then forced to say, well that's sort of like Abraham when he did this and that and like it's just they got to try to like adapt these stories today. It's pretty funny.
Like first world problem.
Bunch of first world problems and they gotta like they're gonna tell him a story about like Job or something and like that's supposed to like apply. Obviously, some stuff you could say some stuff in a sense will kind of apply, but the majority of it won't.
But like you said, you can always just interpret it. So like technically, yeah, you can interpret. Like I could literally make a church based on Lord of the Rings, and when someone came in, I would be like, "Oh, you're like Frodo, and you know you're going on this big journey up a mountain. It's difficult. Like, come on, it kind of applies."
Yeah, well, but maybe that is the power of like stories. Like we won't be able to get away from like we are storytelling animals or whatever. Like stories are a big part of us. So that's I guess what they find like so useful.
Yeah. But why is it like why can't we just enjoy stories without thinking they're fucking real? I can really enjoy Lord of the Rings without thinking it's real.
Exactly. No, exactly. The point you just made. All these stories in the Bible, you could find like parallels and tell similar stories using Star Wars or Lord of the Rings.
Arguably better. It's actually kind of funny that you pick both of those examples, but more Lord of the Rings. Star Wars, first of all, technically, is placed within this universe as a narrative. And Lord of the Rings,
Star Wars and Lord of the Rings are both like epics in the sense of like their character development and the amount of like backstory lore.
Past of the present world we're familiar with. Both of them.
Well, I mean it's
the point is you could do it with either one.
Very much
like Star Wars.
It's unclear
which evil ones. It's still light versus dark.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's clear. I don't think it's clear in Star Wars whether Lucas intended them to be in our universe in another galaxy.
A long time
in the galaxy far
away.
Yeah, but it doesn't say. The reason I say it might be another universe is because it might be a universe where the Force exists.
Well, no, it definitely is. I mean, that's true.
Yeah, so I think it's another universe with essentially the same laws of physics, just added in one other thing, which is the Force. And of course, the ability to have lightsabers.
That it's within this universe. But again, my focus wasn't on Star Wars as much as Tolkien, because you were saying why couldn't a person simply like enjoy a narrative and not attach it to the world? When the example you gave, Lord of the Rings, like he was very committed to attaching it to this world. Like, yes, it was ancient, distant, imagined history, but he connected it to our history in his conception.
Well, again, but this is my issue at first, right? I was saying, why does it have to be looked at as real? Tolkien was a real god believer. Of course, he tried to connect to the world. I'm arguing it doesn't have to
actually leave hobbits. Exactly.
What was it?
I'm saying, yes, he believed in God and Christianity, but he didn't really believe in the hobbits. He knew he was inventing all that stuff.
Yeah, correct. But I'm just saying people don't like get radical about hobbits existing.
Can I just prove to you guys that you guys are undercover believers?
Yeah, sure.
Brilliant stuff. So,
wait, hold on. When you say undercover believers, do you mean that atheists are really theists?
No, he's going to prove to you that you are underneath a blanket.
Yes.
Okay, so hold on. But hold
I'm
on.
not doing it yet. Let him talk.
Yeah. Okay, if you're going to make this argument, though, what if I came up to you and I said, can I make an argument that you're secretly an atheist? How would you react to that?
I would, right after I finish my one, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I want to hear
Go ahead.
So my point is, I guess you guys don't believe in the existence of Christ, yeah?
We believe that some people believe that Christ actually existed as a man, but we don't believe that like he walked on water or did miracles, nothing like that.
So you believe that there's a person called Christ and he existed. He's a real
Maybe,
person.
yeah, I don't know, maybe.
He was a Jewish apocalyptic preacher, like a person. Yeah.
So you believe he existed? Okay.
He was a regular guy.
It's more about the people that believe that he's not real.
You don't have to be a mythicist to be an atheist.
Well, I just
You have to be a realist.
I just think that you guys are undercover believers because
You have to be a realist to be
Believers in what? Believers in what? Number 9.
in God and Christ and
Okay, let's hear it.
story, the entire
How are we believers? Go ahead.
I believe.
Bro, how can I put it? Like, what year would you say it was, CM?
2000
God didn't create us, we created God.
What year would you say it is, CM?
2,000 years ago.
What year would you say it is?
Oh, now?
Yeah.
Oh no. Yes, it is AD.
My boy CM. I love you. I like you, CM, you know, because you're always looking for where I'm about to trap you and you try and like you try and stay 2 steps ahead. I like you, CM. If you guys believe we are in 2026
Oh shit! I used 2026 AD. I'm a theist. Fuck.
Yes. Well, welcome. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Christ.
Well,
you guys are believers. It's in your life. It's woven in your calendar. The entire world.
Hey guys, wait. I have a question. Number 9. Can you name some planets?
Jupiter, Neptune.
Jupiter. Oh my God! You believe in Greek mythology? Look at you talking about Jupiter.
But wait. What's so funny is I don't.
These are Roman gods.
No, but wait. I don't necessarily.
You're Roman.
They're not Roman.
The
They're not
Romans
Roman.
killed Christ.
They're not Roman. They're Greek.
The Romans killed Christ.
They're Greek.
Roman
They're
name.
Greek, CM. They're not Roman. They're Greek.
They're Greek gods, but the names are
Greek,
They're not
CM. They're not Roman. They are Greek.
Mars
Names are
is
Roman.
Aries.
Okay, but I didn't mention Mars.
Greek god of war.
I didn't mention Mars. I didn't mention Mars.
First of
And
all,
anyway,
Jupiter.
if you know anything about mythology doesn't mean made up. It means to some degree based on facts, based on some sort of
Dude,
truth.
you're the guy that did October.
So I'm not gonna say that all the Neptune and this, that, and the other is not will and XYZ.
Jupiter is literally Roman.
But it doesn't matter. The point stands. Okay, you can't say.
Yeah, but it's even better.
You're
It's
using
even
the
better because
Gregorian
the
calendar.
Romans
That
killed
means you're
Christ.
believers. Like what?
You believe in the God that killed your God. You're actually an atheist, honestly.
I believe in the God that killed my God.
I
For
would tell you
instance,
that
I wouldn't say, oh, I don't believe. I wouldn't say that, oh, I don't believe in Zeus. I believe Zeus is actually Satan.
Okay, but
You see what I'm trying to say?
But you get the point, right? If let's say if someone says to me, if in the same way, see, I'm just showing you, you use the names of the planets, right? You don't really believe in Roman gods or Greek gods, but you use the names of the planets because this is the way language evolved.
To a degree, I do. To a degree, I do believe in that. I don't think that mythology
Hold on.
is.
Hold on.
Wait,
You believe in multiple different gods because you use the name of a planet?
No, I don't call them gods. And what I'm trying to say is I'm not saying that these things do not exist. I'm not telling you.
You think Zeus exists?
Zeus is Satan. So yes, I do think he exists.
Zeus is Satan. Okay, we're getting
Absolutely, Zeus is Satan. There's a part in the Bible.
What about Jupiter? Who's Jupiter in the Bible?
I don't know. But there's a part in the Bible.
Okay. You're just retrofitting shit, just willy nilly.
My point being is theology does not mean fiction. So I'm not gonna say that this stuff is fake and this stuff.
Dude, you have embarked on a journey with a compass, and when I say where are you going, you just spin the compass in a circle, and you're like, I'm going where I'm going. You have no direction. You don't know where you're oriented.
This is what you guys.
You literally just said
believe
Zeus
that the
is
world
Satan.
You guys believe that the world is moving, so it's pretty much the same thing, isn't it?
What do you mean the world is moving? What does that
He's a
mean?
flat earther, bro.
You believe that.
Oh, he's a flat earther? Oh, okay, that explains it perfectly.
Is that the point that you wanted to reverse on me?
Well, the point I'm making is if I say it's 2026 Anno Domini, right, that doesn't mean I think that God exists. And if someone says to me, how are you doing? And I say, thank God, right? That doesn't mean I think God actually exists.
What does it mean? If you
phrases.
say thank God, okay, it's a phrase. What does it mean?
It's a phrase. The phrase "thank God" means generally you're doing okay and nothing horrible has happened, and you're grateful to existence.
It means you're grateful to the Creator for the. What are you talking about? You're thanking God. You're thanking God. It's a good day.
Thank God is a phrase. It doesn't mean you believe in God. Atheists can use the word "thank God." Atheists can use the word God.
Oh my God.
If an atheist is having sex and he says,
"Oh God,
oh God,"
wait. What does the word
real?
thank mean? Wait, what does the word thank mean?
Again, it can mean be grateful for,
Yeah,
or be grateful to.
I got a question for Number. If I say, your shoes are sick,
Wait 1 second.
does that mean your shoes have a
Put
hole?
a pin in it. Put a pin in it. I'll answer in 2 seconds. Let me just ask T this. We all know what thank means, and we all know who God is. You're thanking God. That's what the phrase means. Don't try and make it seem like it's anything other than that. You're thanking God.
I guess you've never heard of like multiple interpretations of a single word.
I think you got it.
Thank God. So if I say thank CM, I'm not actually thanking CM. It's just a phrase. Shut up. I'm thanking CM.
Dude, all right, we can say thank
is not well known by hundreds of millions of people on planet
How is that
Earth using
relevant?
his name.
The phrase thank CM, what does it mean?
Words get changed the more people use them and the way they use them.
CM, if I say CM, what does that mean?
In
Does it mean anything other than does it mean anything other than
it could develop
CM and CM saying you're welcome?
Look, are you going to listen to my answer, or are you just going to keep interrupting? Okay, so if CM became known by billions of people and people used his name over thousands of years, it would develop multiple meanings. Right now, there's only one CM. So in the context of this room, yeah, it's very unlikely that people are going to misinterpret that or reinterpret that. But over long periods of time with lots of usage, yes, there would be multiple meanings of thank CM. So right now, I just want to thank CM. I'm a CM believer.
Absolutely.
And yeah, but I'm not a God believer though.
So CM is right up there. The word God. If I say, thanks
I'm
CM
basically
for this,
God at this point.
hold on. Well, wait. If CM is right there, if I say thanks CM for this, that this room is open, that's not subjective. I am thanking CM.
Yeah, but CM exists.
Yeah, and God exists.
No, God doesn't exist.
My example, curiously, if you'd have heard it, would have made you look like an idiot.
Why are you thanking him then?
Why am I thanking him? Because I'm talking to other humans that I'm conveying a message to.
Yeah, and you're conveying a message like, thank God. Like,
Okay, well, Number,
come on, man. You know you sound stupid right now.
No, Number, look. Every time, really, when people say thank God, especially secular or atheist people, really what they mean is thank goodness. Even thank God comes from thank goodness. We're just saying thank goodness.
Yeah, but if they meant thank goodness, they would say thank goodness.
No, because it's longer, and people are
CM, you know, Neil deGrasse Tyson, when he said goodbye, and he said that it means God be with ye. That's how you used to say it in the olden days.
Right.
And all the atheists got on him and said, "Why are you saying God be with ye when you're saying goodbye to the space the astronauts?" And he said it's just ritual, like it's tradition, that in the space programs that they said God be with ye. It doesn't mean Neil deGrasse Tyson's a fucking theist.
You literally just said it's ritual. What is a ritual?
It's just human patterns. We do it, it feels good, and it brings a sense of community in their tribe that they're...
Now we're going to Google the word ritual. We need to Google it. Let's get to the nitty gritty.
I love, dude, this is like the meme with the lady with all like the diagrams and the numbers in the background. This is what Number is doing. He's like, well, let's go deep into this. This is something to find out. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because you want to make it seem subjective
for you, Number. The TLDR is this, okay? Humans create rituals even if they're atheists. There you go. I just saved you like 4 hours of Googling.
But man, I guess I never thought of that. AD 2026 must be a Christian. Thank you.
Clearly you are, because the numbers correlate directly. They have no other meaning other than this is how many years it's
Do you know
been.
what the
Hold on,
numbers
wait
correlate?
1 second, wait
The
1 second.
numbers
Let me finish the
correlate that
sentence.
the Roman emperors
Let me finish the
set
sentence.
a rule that
Let me
everyone's
finish
gonna
the
follow
sentence. Let me finish the
calendars.
sentence.
That's what
Let
happened.
me finish the sentence. The numbers are in direct, not indirect, direct correlation to a person that you don't believe exists.
Do you know why? Again, I probably believe he existed. I don't think he was walking around doing magic. Now, and that is just complete stories made up afterwards. Do you know why the calendar we use? Like, do you think there's anything objective about where actually in the year 2026? We're in the year 13 billion something technically, or the reason. Do you know why? You understand that like it was a bunch of like Jesuit priests and like I don't know.
So why doesn't your calendar say the year whatever you just said it was? It actually says 2026 years after the death of a person that you don't even believe existed. Anything before that is BC.
Oh, God bless your soul.
5,000 before this person existed. That's how you tell time.
Number.
You tell the date.
Everything has the meaning that we give it. We give everything meaning. So the calendar was given a meaning, and then we decided the meaning was going to change. We decide the meaning.
Oh, so you're God.
God bless your soul, number.
What?
You decide the meaning. And
Yes.
the meaning.
I decide that you're an idiot. There we go.
The meaning came into existence, and because you just decided to just change the meaning one day,
humans
that
decide the
automatically
meaning.
means
Look,
that it
it's-
changed?
Look, yes, look, we decide. It's not just me as a human. We humans collectively reach a consensus. It's that simple.
CM knows where I'm going to take this conversation, but I can't.
You believe in Roman gods. You're pagan.
I mean, I don't worship the Roman gods.
You don't worship, but you believe they're real. You believe Zeus really exists.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's sitting somewhere with on a cloud with a lightning bolt in his hand.
That's the devil.
That's the devil. The devil is sitting somewhere on a cloud with a lightning bolt in his hand.
The devil is in a place called hold on, what's it called? There's a place that Jesus wrote a letter
Mount
to.
Olympus?
No, it begins with P.
P.
And it's in Rome, and this is where Jesus.
Parthenon.
Maybe just double check it. It's a place.
You should probably know about things that you believe.
This is not my God, this is your God. I don't worship these motherfuckers.
This is your God.
I don't worship the devil. I don't worship the devil.
I don't worship the devil either.
Yes, you do.
I worship the devil. I learn something new every day.
Yes, you do worship the devil.
How do I worship the devil? Like, what do I do to signify my worship?
Well, the truth is, I do worship the devil. I just don't tell anybody about it.
Ah, okay.
He knows who he can't remember the name of it.
Don't blow our cover. Number, what do we do to worship the devil? Tell me what I do to worship the devil.
More than likely, you listen to particular
Rap music.
that perpetuate sins. Your sin alone is worship. The attention that you give.
Listening to music is now worshiping the devil?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I listen to classical music. I really like Beethoven and Bach and like all the masters, Mozart. Is that worshiping the devil?
Absolutely.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Absolutely. Because
You got me.
the purpose of music itself is to worship.
So Bach writing beautiful symphonies that have to do with literal worship, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He literally put the words like Ave Maria, right? So Ave Maria is worshiping the devil. Is that right?
Yeah.
But what if I go in the forest and listen to the bird sing? Do I worship the bird?
Yes.
You bird worshiper.
Yeah, that's it. You're a bird worshiper.
Number, do you listen to music?
Yep.
Okay, you can worship the devil.
You worship, but I repent. But I repent daily.
You repent
so I'm
daily?
straight.
Hold on. Why would you, if you're repenting is supposed to mean you're saying you did something wrong, you're not going to do it again. Why would you repent
No, that's not what
daily
it
and then
means.
listen
That's
to
not what
music
it means.
over and
That's
over?
not what it means. Repent means you've done something wrong, you acknowledged it, and you're asking for forgiveness. It doesn't mean you're not going to do it
so
again.
you listen to music every day and then ask for forgiveness every day.
I don't listen to music every day.
Okay, but you listen to music repeatedly. You listen to music repeatedly and then you ask forgiveness every time you do it?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
That sounds sad.
You're
No,
God
it's actually, I'm actually happy.
Yeah. Number one, it sounds sad because it seems like you're a little bit guilty. That you're somehow
Of
feeling guilty
course.
for doing
Yes.
something that's not harmful. Like it's not
Yes.
wrong or bad to listen to music.
You're nearly a Christian. Carry on. Let's go. Continue.
Yeah, but number two,
We need to stab our ears with nails.
Yeah, you don't need to feel guilty for listening to music because, like I said, music is not hurting anybody.
If I
So,
listen
you're not
to
doing
if I
anything
listen to Beyonce, and Beyonce's
Well, she worships the devil, so
yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
If I listen to Beyonce and
She
you hear
said,
the
I can
lyrics,
see, she said, I can see your halo, halo, halo.
all right, it's blasphemy.
If I'm listening to T-Ray, now do I worship him? Oh, CM's talking now. I must worship CM. If you talk, am I worshiping you? Do I need to just like break my ears so I don't worship anything?
He's not made any music. What do you mean? What do you mean? If
Can
I
somebody
talk to him,
sing?
that's not
So if it's
worshiping.
not musical?
See, what has CM done that's musical? The purpose of music is to worship. The purpose of music. So depending on the context of your
La,
music,
la,
you
la,
are worshiping
la.
that.
You're worshiping me right now. La 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 la. Oh shit, you're worshiping me, dude. La 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 la.
go repent.
Don't worry, man. I'm gonna wash it off later. I'm free. Don't worry.
Hey, but number, don't you think, like, you repenting is kind of empty? It's like just an empty gesture.
No. Why would I
I mean-
feel empty?
It's what he said about you should feel guilty and like obviously not want to do it again.
If you
Not do it
upset your mum, and then you say, "Oh, do you know what, mum? I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry." Is it empty? Is that empty? Like,
Well-
empty apology?
if you do the same thing over and over every day and you have to apologize for it, yes, that is empty.
Absolutely. So therefore, like, you're not gonna do the same thing every day when it's your mum, is it? You're gonna say, "You know what, mum? I'm sorry. I fucked up."
But you listen to music
Because-
every day.
Because you love your mum, you're gonna do your best to not do that shit again, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just not gonna do. If I hurt my mom, I'm not gonna do it again.
Thank you. And that's how I treat God, because He's our Heavenly Father. See my point?
But you still listen to music.
Dude, you get what I'm saying, bro?
No, I don't. You're
You get what I'm saying.
when you ask for forgiveness, it's empty because you already know.
I don't listen to music daily. I don't listen to music daily.
On every.
But with the others, Asians beat us. But
In what?
well, generally have more IQs than whites. They do better in school than us.
IQ is the epitome of victory.
They outbeat us.
Pepe, can I chime in for a second, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not American, so just so you guys know. So I'm speaking as immigrant Canadian, but since we share mostly the same culture, technically mostly the same economics. So the question was, will America, as we know it, exist in 100 years from now, right? As an empire, as a state, as a country, there's no clarification in that. And you, I could understand you, I'm assuming you're a white person, white male who lives in America. And
Be careful to
when you say
assume
that Asian-
you'll make an
when you
ass
say
out of
Asian-
you and me.
When you say Asians have a higher IQ than you, that's a little bit weird. That's very subjective.
No,
Asians
it's
are
objective.
people. If you're trying to say that they're more the immigrants, Asian immigrants,
No, it's an objective fact. I'm not. This isn't an opinion. An IQ is just you take a test and it gives you a score. They in fact have higher scores on average than whites. That's just a fact.
Okay, but you gotta remember, it's been proven. By the way, the IQ test is not scientifically. It's not a thing. One thing. I'm speaking as a black person.
It's the most accurate test in the social sciences. Literally, the most accurate psychometric test that we have.
What does it mean to prove anything in science?
So you're a white male. Do you think most Asians have higher IQ than you?
On average, they do in comparison to white people. Yes.
No, I'm not talking about the white people. I just asked you a direct question.
Okay, you don't.
My question is more important. Pepe, can you engage with me?
Hey, hold on, Florida. You don't need to jump in on this one.
No, this is dumb.
No, okay. So, I'm talking about group. I'm talking about group disparities, not individuals. There's smart people in every group.
I'm more interested in knowing why do you feel like the IQ is the epitome of quote unquote victory?
If you look at the standard of living in most countries, there's a direct correlation, unless you so happen to be an oil wealth country. Other than that, there's a direct correlation between the standard of living. You have to think of it like if you look at it in IQ distribution. Okay. So just to get like an
is that the only causal factor?
So
is that the only causal factor?
Florida, let him learn his points because he's asking.
Why,
okay, but you're derailing.
Not a question. Let him finish.
So you can continue to spew fake race realism?
Bro, it's not the Florida show.
Not your show either, brother.
I know, but then stop. I'm not the one. You keep on like interrupting. Now, if you look at something like, I don't know, an engineering degree, you generally have to have an IQ of thresholds about 120 to be able to not only learn the information, but abstractly apply it. The information you learned.
Holy shit.
Now, we have to, so for example, you have a distribution of people, for example, that will have IQs of, maybe 10, 15, 20%, I don't know, will have an IQ above 125, maybe 1 to 2% above 145. You're used to having a certain level of people with the knowledge and expertise, which kind of correlates with IQ, that can keep things running. I mean, like look at everything in this country. I mean, we're a very high-tech country. There's people that are in charge of all of this shit. What happens when you have a population that produces these people at a much lower rate? How can you keep up a first world country at that point? Those are the kinds of things that I worry about.
Okay, that's a valid question. So I'm gonna try to flip the script a little bit so I can understand your point and also look at it from your point. Okay, so let's say all these immigrants, all the Asians, like you said, or whatever, Africans, South Americans, even European included, because I'm assuming you're including majority Asians and other immigrants, but also you're including East Europeans that are coming in, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, you can just include all of our immigrants. They all do differently from each other.
Okay, cool. So let's say that. How about this fact that almost every company, 90% of the companies in the world that build this great economy, not of the United States, since World War II, the world has prospered mainly because of American innovation, right? That's a fact. And a majority of it, and then it trickled down, the rest of the world caught up. China caught up tremendously, we'll know that. But that was from the American innovation, from the American education, a lot of them, all the scientists and all the innovators. If you look at Jack Ma, he built Alibaba, he came to the US first before he actually went and built it in China. All the innovation happened in the US. The majority, all the publicly traded companies have been in the US, the big ones. Now they're $1 trillion companies, but they were $1 billion companies. The greatest economy was built in the United States. The greatest people civilization that benefited from that economy, the majority are the American population. Yes, the world benefited from that, but the majority that benefited was the American citizens. Now, let's go down even further. What is the majority of the people that benefited in the United States? They were majority white, middle class families. Majority of that. The immigrants, yes, came later. The black Americans, they were there already, longer than most white people, I would say, because most white people came World War One, World War Two, but there were black Americans there. Yes, they had like I'm black, but I'm African. I'm not black American. I'm sure you know the difference. But even the black Americans there, they benefited from that, even though there were a lot of. They tried, and it's still happening. Whether you believe in the whole race theory and all that, I don't believe in the whole race theory. But they had a mountain to climb compared to most majority white people. So when you say the IQ and all that, yes, but the world is moving at the same pace that America was growing in the last 80 years. China caught up, the rest of the world are catching up. It's not because America is all of a sudden they stop innovating, they're still innovating. The 3 biggest companies on the planet, they're still in the United States. The top 10, most of them are in the United States. So is it America or the population? If you're talking about, yes, America is, okay, now they're not at the same pace of how they were growing in the last 30 years, you're right. That's just because the rest of the world, technology is becoming more distributed. If you're talking about the American citizen, that is on par is everybody. It's not the white population, the America that's doing poor, especially the middle class.
Do you think that you think that this is where even amongst whites, I don't think that like the French could be as innovative as the Germans. I think that perhaps they had like different selection pressures and that kind of of course their culture. How much is the culture a creation of them versus they created their culture? But if we look at like the vast majority of innovation, it comes from rather not too large of an area, in Central Western Europe, and then you have Jews. I guess the last 500 years, you're looking at the people that pretty much innovated almost everything, and this seems like the populations that were or the countries that were populated by these people tend to have very similar standards of living, despite like maybe having a bit different history. Like Canada, well, Canada's our neighbor, so that's different. But like New Zealand and Australia, like we can go to these countries and it still feels like home compared to like, I don't know, Belgium.
No, home to who though? See, this is what
English-speaking people who grew up in America or Great Britain.
Okay, all right. So if you're gonna say English-speaking people, you're gonna include England, you're gonna include Australia, New Zealand, Canada. Kenya speaks English. That's the first. That's the official language. South Africa, English is the first language. What I could name you like 25 countries in the planet that English is the actual official language, right? Now,
yeah, I mean, I'm talking about countries that were like founded by the Anglos. There's no doubt they're far more similar to each other than not.
The Anglo-British, okay? All right. Mm-hmm. So United States was the first to actually be independent out of the British system. Canada is still pretty much a Commonwealth country. New Zealand is, Australia is. So is Kenya, and Jamaica until a few years ago. So the different what happened with the United States, and I'm sure you're very educated. You're more educated than me. What happened with the United States is they decided to literally be a democracy, which is great, and the whole world wants that. But more importantly, it's a capitalist society. And this is the one, a lot of people said that a long time, democracy is good. It's the best system in the planet until it's not. What happened in the United States, and the rest of the Western world, which is happening right now, it's not that America is going to fail or not become a country. They have to, the capitalist system has to adapt to the times. It was great at the moment. They built great empire, great economy. But what happened with AI, with robotics? How are you gonna make people climb the system, give them the all the things they want to become stable enough to feed their family? Capitalism cannot do that in long term. It could build the greatest economy on the planet, which it did, by the way. But now, how do you move to the next level? We don't know what that next level is. Nobody does. There's no historian would tell you. There's no reference point after capitalism. What's going to happen after all this technology? What's going to happen? So America is not suffering from an issue of identity crisis. It's suffering from what is exactly what we do from now on. Yes, the race issues are there, but that's on every planet, on every country, in every society. It happened 100 years ago, 500 years ago. The Romans went through it, the Babylonian, they brought in mixes of people into their civilization. It collapsed, but it wasn't because they reached a peak. The United States, back to the actual question, they'll be here. They're not going to collapse tomorrow. China is not going to take over the world and make one system, whatever it is. They say communism. China is not a communist country. This is the fact that people.
I think they're a fascist country, and I'm being honest when I say that.
They're technically out of fascists. You're right about that. They are fascists because one party does run the whole thing and is run by a select group of people. They are a fascist country. But their economics is semi-socialist, semi-capitalist. They have billionaires. People keep missing that about China. When you say communism, but you have billionaires, you're not a fucking communist. So they're not a communist country. And they're not, obviously we know that they're not a democracy. So what back to the question, I'm just gonna go down because I've been talking. What's gonna happen to the United States eventually, they'll still be economically, they'll be top 5, top 3 for a long time. But the country at itself is not just gonna disappear out of the system. They're still the largest economy on the planet.
You don't think that, like, based on, I'd say we have, like, there's the racial stuff and it changes.
And that's your worry. So
no, not just
I was
that.
gonna get to that. No, your worry is this: what is going to happen?
No, there's also our political
population.
divide is pretty. It's nearly half and half, and anything can happen there too. I can see a lot of things that could go wrong.
No, I understand that, but that's just history. Things do happen to nations, civilization, the most powerful countries. Yeah, they collapse, they rebuild themselves. But I really think your worry is the white middle class population. That's what your actual worry is. So let's
not middle class. Let me rephrase. It's okay. So you have to work with my logic here. We've seen that, like, when you've had certain majorities in certain countries, they seem to run. Of course, no country's perfect, but you're used to them running a certain way. When you have people that come from other countries that don't really have that proven track record, the fear is, can they maintain a first world country? I'm talking middle class, poor, and the people that can run shit. And that is so people like me, that was like always my biggest concern.
So you sound like a very intellectual, fairly open-minded person to me. So let's put two scenarios. Best case scenario, worst case scenario. What do you think is the worst case scenario for a white family in the United States 100 years from now?
Well, it wouldn't just affect white people. I'd say my biggest fears would be becoming like Brazil. In other words, a very large underclass. It's violent, politically chaotic. It's so I guess you could say like Brazil, where it's not safe. The medical care isn't the best. Now you have people with money that can get by, but it's almost like an apartheid state in a way between the rich and the poor.
So can I shock you with something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Brazil's medical system and healthcare is already better than the United States. And has been better for the last 20, 30 years. I'll tell you that much. Now, if you tell a normal politician in the United States or an average person that manages middle class, they'll be like, no, that's socialism. Canada has a better health system than the United States for the last 50 years. They've been forever. Why do you think that is? Is it the country is not safe, or since you brought up the health?
No, I'm not. Well, hold on. I'm not blaming socialism for. I'm not saying that socialism could make us like Brazil. I'm talking about that was more in reference to like we're getting a lot of populations from places like Brazil or worse, and then my question is, well, I can kind of predictably now. Western Europeans, for example, were very savage at one point too. They would. You could say it at just a few hundred years ago, they were publicly executing each other. They were lots of bad things about them. So I'm not saying they're like naturally born this way, but when you have like Germany or France, well, I guess Germany's not always predictable because of World War II, but okay, let's say like England or the United States. It's kind of like when you're used to having that majority population. It kind of sets an expectation for largely how to expect things to run. Now, when you get people that are from countries where they don't have that track record, I question: do they have the capability, and culturally, is it going to, even degrade us? Like Latin America, they're very family oriented, right? But that's a good thing. But it also leads to a lot of problems because it leads to a lot of corruption. Their loyalty to their families and friends, leads them to always favor them over, meritocracy, for example. It's like, and I personally prefer our system. I don't want, to live in a granola factory like Mexico, where it's all corrupt and it's your cronies who get all the resources.
You don't want it to be compadrismo.
Go ahead, Marshall. Yeah. I was going to say something like, go ahead, Marshall. Sorry, I've been talking.
No. I was just saying he doesn't want it to be compadrismo, which is the Spanish word for like the friend network, right? They call it the compadre system.
Okay, so this compadre system that you're talking about, Pepe. So here's the thing. I don't know what life you lived growing up or where you live, but I've been to the United States. My father lived there, my siblings lived there, but I lived there for a year and a half. Then I came back to Canada. As a immigrant. My observation of the United States, and I visited Germany, France, dictators, Omar Bashir, which was in Sudan, and also Mubarak, was in Egypt. Alright, and I lived in Canada, and I said, we have issues again. Major issues. And what I think is the problem is we're not going to separate.
Are you in Alberta?
I live in
Guys, just one question. Are you guys agree with my picture? Anyone agree here? Anyone agree with my picture? Does anybody
anybody agree or disagree with his PTR, his picture?
Yes. So you're saying that like
It's okay. We can go back to the conversation. Thank you. I was trying to disrupt.
Wait, you were saying that your province wanted to secede from Canada?
They want to separate.
Alberta?
When it was saying that.
Yeah,
Alberta. And the rest, they don't know. So, what will ever happen? So, the majority of the people that want to secede from Canada, they are majority people want to separate. Okay? And they have the same issue as Alberta. They don't agree with the way the immigration has been handled or handled in the last 10 years or so. Now, as an immigrant, as someone that was born and raised in Canada, I agree with 100%. When I came to Canada, it took 3 years for me and my mother to come to Canada. The process was long, tedious for my mother, I'm sure. I was a kid, I didn't go for it, I didn't even go. But we did it, it took a long time. As soon as we landed here, I was just,
The trajectory, yes, more specifically. I mean, like, look,
That doesn't make sense.
There are a couple of things here. Number one, he was an immigrant, not a Republican. Number two, and most importantly, what it meant was, compared to the Donald Trump administration, President Obama was positively move them out and go. Right? He deported more people under his administration than Trump has in his first and this part of his second administration. 100%. See? 100%. Right?
immigration policies isn't a Democrat or a Republican, both parties, you know, I don't see one versus the other. Tactics may change, but I think everyone is clear on it. You know, if you're here illegally, you're here illegally. Yeah, but we're talking about immigrants. We're talking about
he's saying in general,
importing.
Yeah, I mean, Obama was not like, it's funny, one of Obama's top advisors, went over to England after he worked for Obama and worked to get David Cameron. I mean, that's how conservative our Democratic Party was, right? That in England it would be the conservative party. Yeah, look, I get that. It's outweighing internationally. I would just prefer people to think man to the international scene to say that. Right? Because when you say it to Americans, it means a different thing. Right? Like, it means an entirely different thing. I mean, if what means is, he is right of center for Europe and the rest of the world's parliamentary democracies. Certainly. Absolutely. But when you tell a group of Americans, hey, the guy's a Republican, what? In our context, it means something slightly different. It's why I like to differentiate between European and American conceptions of the two, because they are different.
And this is the problem also. Back to the question about American did you ever have a news that American will thrive, will be here. The question is, it's not economic or the global influence that the government. I think the question was phrased specifically.
So when I phrase the question,
the boat, like I was bringing up that demographic change is the primary fear of mine. And there's obviously there's the political, which is there's some race tied into it, but not. I don't really look to chalk that up to a race issue. I mean those are the two big things. I mean as far as I don't know, economically, I don't know. Which countries would actually, I mean, I think just being here, where we are geographically, I don't think we would necessarily fare any worse than most countries, you know, economically in the future. So I'm not really worried about that.
and also,
That's why I brought up Brazil. It's a chaotic place.
yeah, what were you, JJ, what were you trying to say? Hold on 2 seconds before you started talking, JJ's voice kind of got cut from this room. JJ, what were you trying to say?
Well, I was just thinking also, do we really want America as we currently know it? I know I don't. I want to get to a place where, you know, where we're celebrating our differences, where we have, you know, finally, it takes us a little years to do this, but hopefully we'll have evolved past the next time, have comprehensive, you know, immigration, you know,
Reform with a path to penalty and a path to citizenship.
exactly, and it will be expedient. It should take no longer than 6 months to decide whether or not someone should enter the country. You already have yeah, it's like they already have all their information. They're the same person. You can do an interview. Like and boy, people, we always do this thing where like, where's the money gonna come from? We have enough money to fund, you know, all these kind of fucking wars. We got Trump asking for, you know, $300 million for a fucking ballroom to expand, you know, like 2 vanity projects on the White House. We can't fund judges and staff to like, you know, go through, you know,
immigration issues.
Do you really think that?
It's ridiculous.
Well, first of all, I think we spend a lot on military just kind of a reason we have our status as the world's leading power. But do you really think that we could just like quote unquote not go to
right? Like if we weren't so concerned with projecting our power globally, maybe we would have more money for things like judges and things of that nature. So he's asking, like, would you prefer us to be essentially less militarily dominant?
I don't know if we have that option.
Yeah, but also too, we already spent more money on our military than like every other.
The next like 15 nations combined.
But aren't we
Combined.
Reverend, he didn't mean the income we did. Like America did it. Well, I'm saying, I feel like our military might kind of ties into our economic base. Seems like if we can use that as leverage to make everything work for us.
Yeah, we have sustainable World War II. The idea that U.S. controls trade routes is part of the reason the naval budget is as large as it is. Right? Like, it's been that way. But, like, maybe another way to put this kind of query you have, Pepe, is it still essential to be imperial? Because what you're talking about is a sense of imperium.
And that's the best question.
He's a new guy. He's basically as dumb as thunder.
Do you think he's being upset at me? Yeah, do you think he just being like in this whole argument here? Do you think he wanted the end and made it like that was
Thus, light and heat result from the marriage of hydrogen and oxygen. Love from that of man and woman, dhyana or ecstasy, from that of the ego and the non-ego. But be thou well grounded in this thesis corollary that one or two such marriages do but destroy for a time. The exacerbation of a complex, the deresonance such as a work of long habit and deep search in darkness, for the germ thereof, unless once accomplished, that particular complex is destroyed or sublimated forever. If the testes are ovaries, loss of personality itself also. And we poison the blood directly with belladonna. We have delirium vehement and furious. With hashish, visions fantastic and enormous with anelonia. Ecstasy of color, whatnot, with diverse germs of disease. Disturbances of consciousness varying with the nature of the germ also. With ether, we gain the power of analyzing the consciousness into its planes and even of discovering the hidden will and judgment upon any question. And so for many others. But all these are, in our mystical sense, poisons. That is, there shall come unto thee a second state of physiological being in which is a delight passive and equable, without will, a contentment of weakness, with a feeling of lightness and of purity. And this is because the blood hath absorbed in its need of nutriment all foreign elements. Such also is the case with the mind which hath from thought. Consider the placid and ruminant existence of such persons as read little, are removed from worldly struggle by sin sufficient, property of small and unexciting value, stoutly invested, and by age and environment are free from pattern. They live according to their own nature, without desire, and they oppose no resistance to the operations of time. Such are called happy, and in their way of vegetable life, it is so, for they are free of any poison.
you need a reorientation to a new set of non-Middle Eastern oil sources. So considering all this, you can't pull this off in a non-belligerent, peaceful fashion. And that's why Trump is the perfect face as the seemingly crazy guy who's going about making all these moves when it's actually well planned. So in that sense, yes, when looked at in isolation, he looks like an unreasonable, crazy guy, office handles and all that stuff. But it is not a departure from what America wants.
Without a male guardian.
Oh,
that kind of made it. Now that they can travel, now that they have social media, now that they have influencers going there, and some of them living there, or at least were living there in Dubai and Qatar and other places, because that was promoted by the governments of these countries. Now that they're seeing all that, they have other things to do, and as a result, the idea of getting married at a young age is no longer there, and that is going to impact the birth rate in the future. And that's kind of my take on it.
I wonder statistically, like what the numbers. 2019, they changed the guardianship rules in 2019. They changed the guardianship law in Saudi, which is piggybacks on what you're saying, Alma. But I wonder statistically, in the different.
No, sir. No, sir.
So,
sorry, my dog was barking. Real quick. I unfortunately need to interrupt the conversation. Please forgive me. We do have quite a wonderful person here. Her name is Mon. She held a lot of rooms with Pepe on the app. Hey, Mon. How you doing?
Platform Mon. Hey,
Mon, you
Marsha.
there?
Hey, Marsha.
I guess not.
Had to interrupt for that. Back to the conversation.
Oh, well. Well, Mon's awesome, so continue.
Okay, so I need the statistics on.
So, I mean, is it
you were.
I don't want to mispronounce it.
So you were in Italy, right, recently?
I got back a couple days ago.
And so I look at two different populations, and they're handling it differently. Like we can look at Japan and South Korea and China, I guess too. But they kind of have the exact same birth rate problem. In fact, I think it's worse for them.
Oh my God, these people are fucking retarded. Fully retarded.
And then, oh my son, the all phenomena, the effect of conflict. Even as the universe itself is enough and expressed as the difference of two equalities. Or thou wilt.
Oh my God.
As the divorce of Newit and Hadith. So therefore every marriage dissolveth the more material and createth a less material cogment. And this is our way of love, rising ever from ecstasy to ecstasy. So then all high violence, that is to say, all consciousness, is the spiritual orgasm of a passion between two lower and gross opposites, thus light and heat, result from the marriage of hydrogen and oxygen. Love from that of man and woman, dhyana or ecstasy from that of the ego and the non-ego. But be thou well grounded in this thesis corollary, that one or two such marriages do but destroy for a time, and the exacerbation of any cones. If the worsen of such is a work of long habit and deep searching darkness for the germ thereof. But this once accomplished, that particular complex is destroyed or sublimate forever. Now then understand how the all procedure to the way of nature creates a violence. If not an excretory system do its function not at its fullest, there come poisons in the blood and the consciousness
Now they started accepting immigrants, and the kids that were born there, mixed race, whatever you want to call them, they started giving them citizens. So I'll give you 3 examples. Celebrities. Keanu Reeves, you know him.
Yeah, but celebrities are always I mean, they can probably.
No.
I mean,
Listen to
I'm
me.
sure
No.
the UAE might even give us celebrities.
I'll give you an example. He was never, there was no way on hell who will ever be Japanese. Never happened. He doesn't want it.
No, I know, but I mean, I think countries
but
make
right now-
countries
but right
make
now-
exceptions for celebrities, though. That's why I don't
Hey,
think
Edward!
celebrities.
No.
Edward, you're listening to a group of people that don't accept personal responsibility for anything and spend all their time complaining on the social audio conference call app.
But as recently as 10 years ago, they made a policy. 5 years ago.
You'll notice they never read the Bible, ever, because they're retarded. Pepe is retarded.
It comes back to the whole deal. Patient, living longer.
You were listening to a Sudanese immigrant living in Canada working in the oil fields complaining about everything. He won't stop talking. He's the new Achek!
Like you asked a question earlier. Automatically, once you have
I give you the new
developing
Achek of
society,
Clubhouse!
they will have less kids. Why? Because now the man is working, the society get developed. Now the woman has
This has been tracked for like it because it happened with industrialization throughout the world. You saw everybody. The countries were that industrialized, it didn't really hurt that much to have kids. So
exactly,
you know.
So it's not because of white people are not.
It wasn't that expensive to have children back in the day.
That white people are unique when it comes to
White people!
Mexico's birth rate is actually.
I also want everybody that Marshall Rankin said a few minutes ago that he doesn't give a shit if Hispanics and Mexicans take over because he loves them.
There's a lot of jokes about them about how many babies they would have, but no, I mean they're kind of just like the Italians or the Polish that they were often at the butt of those jokes. The Mexicans in Mexico, they're having far less children. And a lot of people theorize. I think even that he's more like liberal. That Peter Thiel guy, or not Peter Thiel. Excuse me. What the fuck is his name? God damn. He does. He's It's not coming to me. But like the flood.
Not the guy that like for techno feudalism. Not that.
No. He's a really mainstream guy. He's like is it Zion? Yeah, Zion.
What's he talk about?
Just more like he talks more about economic stuff and some geopolitical stuff.
Twitter?
Might be Peter Zion.
On Twitter or on TV?
He was on TV all the time.
The CNN?
I'm pretty sure he's been on there.
Fox?
I don't know.
Okay, so the name sounds familiar. There's a guy that CNN has on with the Ion last name.
No, Zion.
No, I know that. I'm telling you, I don't remember the I-O-N of the name. Ion.
Wait.
That's the only part I remember. So I can't tell you whether that's the reporter or not.
Zion.
Not Dr. Peterson.
No, it's Peter Zion, Zeihan, like a German spelling. Peter Zion. But he was, and he talks about a lot of things that he's interesting to listen to. But he was one of the people, for example, that was saying that under Biden, when we saw all of the Latin Americans, a lot of them were Latin American. What we noticed under Biden is that these people are from all over the globe.
Honduras, Guatemala, Ecuador.
Yes, but they were not just
Africa.
Yes,
Russia and the former Cans.
Yes, but they were not just Latin American, even. But he was saying that.
No, that's what I was saying. From the former stands. Did you guys in Arizona ever catch anybody from the former stands? We caught.
Sure, we catch. I mean, we were one of the, just like Texas. We were.
Yeah, you were one of the hot
states
spots
where they all come through.
So, dude,
but
we
they literally
caught
found IDs from
three-
every part of the world, like on the borders. They cut them up, like right when they.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Same where they would come across the McAllen. They did the exact same stuff.
But I would say this. He was saying that could have perhaps been one of the last wave that we would see of Latin American migrants, because of their birth rates have absolutely tanked. All of those countries are becoming more industrialized. If you look at Mexican migration, for example, that's largely that was mostly in its up until what, the early 2000s.
It dropped off until 2005. It dropped off in 2005.
But it's kind of happening with all of the other Latin American countries. So like they're going to pretty much stay where they are, and so it was kind of interesting to think about. But it tracks with how he was putting it. And he's looking at the level of industrialization and basically the standards of living and how they improve. They start having less kids. And of course, since their standard of living is improved, they don't feel a need to leave. So they just, there goes all of the Latino. Maybe we'll miss them when the less of them come over. I don't know.
No, it's not. You're not gonna miss them. What's gonna happen? Sorry to put it broadly. What's gonna happen to the United States? Goes back to the original question. Is the same thing that happened in England. The middle class collapses. That's sad to say, because that's the majority of people, and that's the demographic that actually carries the economy. But that will collapse. What you're gonna have is a bunch of rich people, the millionaire, billionaire class, and a lot of people is struggling, the majority.
But do you think that America can survive? Because I've pondered that before too. But I would say that like Americans, we're too armed and we're too, I would say, rebellious. And we would likely, if the majority of Americans were really unhappy and uncomfortable, I actually think they would, in fact, they will be violent and they will cause a lot of chaos.
Okay. But here's the question though. Who are you going to fight? Even, I know American citizens are armed to the teeth. By the way, here's the thing. They did a study, I think it's 2009. Canadians have more guns by per capita, not more guns, but per capita than Americans, right?
Abby, before you continue, how many guns per capita do they have, please?
I'm pretty sure we have the most per capita.
Because I don't believe what he's saying. I don't believe
it's around 300 or 400 million.
Until Trudeau came to power, Canadians, then they did the whole bullshit. They took our guns away. That was fucked up. But per capita,
that's not happening here.
But
I still like to hear the answer. How many guns per capita does Canada have?
5.2. I'm not gonna lie to you, my brother. I can't tell you the actual data, so I don't know. But
okay, so the answer is you don't know. Okay, thank you. Please continue.
No, I said I don't know.
That's because my understanding is that the United States not only has more guns, but more guns per capita than any country in the world.
They probably do. No,
I thought maybe Yemen was number 2, but I thought it could have been number 1.
No, they probably do. The only difference, the study was done according to legal guns that Canadian own, which was a lot. We don't have a lot of guns in Canada, but legally per capita it was a lot. We were like 36 million at the time. Legally, yeah.
But hold on. I want to backtrack to your question, though. You said, so who would you attack? I mean, I think that becomes kind of obvious. So if you were, let's say you were unhappy with these mega corporations and politicians, that's who you would target. You would target anybody who supported them. You would make them feel unsafe. I mean, that's kind of what.
100 years ago, you would attack any mega corporation. They're not mega, large corporation in the U.S. But right now, you're not gonna attack Facebook or Google because they'll just move they'll move their offices to Argentina, Brazil, to Norway.
Yeah, they can do that.
Ireland. So there's nobody to attack.
But okay,
they're gonna move.
that's not true. But let's say, first of all, for them to have any kind of real power, they're going to have to lobby politicians. When this is super hypothetical, and this is not actually a thing.
Okay, I'll give an example.
I don't want anybody to take it out of context, but I mean, when you literally are using terror,
perfect. I'll give you the best example. I was young. Okay, so the Wall Street protest happened. Okay, they went. Everybody, all those students in the U.S. went middle class. Fuck Wall Street. It lasted 3 months, maybe 6 months, and then it died off. What happened? Nothing happened to Wall Street.
Right? Sure, but the average American lives way too comfortably and has something to lose. Now, if you are in a position to where you really don't own much, you don't see a future for yourself, and really, I'd rather fight and even die than continue on this path. That's where things are like different.
So the average,
it's like a terrorist.
So
right?
the average American
isn't that the
right
definition
now,
of a terrorist that wants to blow themselves up? Wasn't that what terrorists do?
Terrorists do that too, sure.
They want to be
the
in the
average
land
American
of
right now
21
has
virgins or
nothing to
something like that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, but that's for religious reasons. It's totally different. If you were, okay, we can look at our founding fathers when they revolted against the British. I mean,
yeah, that
was what they did wrong. They started killing their who was ruling over them and their military.
Okay, so I tell my friends this all the time. I'll give an example. Okay, you have an investment. I guarantee you, I don't know you at all, but I guarantee you invested in one of the Fortune 500 companies. You have a stock that you own. Do you think you're gonna get up today and go and attack Coca-Cola or a Facebook headquarters?
I think that if you have I don't want to stand up for communists. However, I do see that in places like in El Salvador, even Cuba, there are people that the place is so fucking corrupt. Like Allende, what the fuck was his name? The guy that was in charge in Cuba at the time, I forget. But they were highly corrupt. They didn't give a shit about their poor. It was like what we think of as the American dream is like, at least you have a fucking opportunity. They had no opportunities. And what are those people going to do? I mean, oftentimes they're going to, I guess become communist, and then, communism really fucking sucks. And they end up really taking advantage of the poor farmers and taking their fucking land, and it's really horrible. But if you look at throughout Latin America, you can't blame the people for wanting to fight because they have zero fucking opportunity.
And I agree with you. What I'm trying to tell you is this. When those people fought in South America, they did not own houses or the stocks in the same company that they're fighting.
You're making my point for me. When you own nothing and have nothing to lose and nothing really to look forward to fighting is often the one thing you're willing to invest in.
But the people that they fight are the same people that they have their invested.
Not if they didn't have much in the way of investments.
Oh no, you're right about that. That means it has to go to the point where even their stocks are not worth shit. Their 401k they're not worth shit. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, when there's nothing at all, you can feed your family.
The average male is not going to leave his wife and kids to fend for themselves, and to fight this what they think is a unfair or tyrannical system. That's generally not how it's going to work. It's generally history of being rebellious like we do. And quite frankly, I do not. Our populations, even though, yes, you guys are very close to us culturally, I think if you look at in many different parts of America.
Did you eat the pizza ice cream?
Hold on. This is Mises 420 Lounge. We got Manfinity modded up with Patty.
Yeah.
Wait, why are we shouting out Tyrone? He got a problem.
Hello?
Because Misa was her Tyrone Bigham. She was a Tyrone Bigham on
I can't argue with you.
the cruise.
You angry?
What is it called?
I'm happy.
Thing that
Leave me alone.
off the water. You went there.
Would you stop? Why are you doing this? Why did you ask me that question? No, why did you ask me that?
Oh, because I got the same picture that you have.
Oh, well, you're looking at my profile picture. Why?
Because you could look at some profile picture. What? Because I mean, because I
I'm gonna restart Clown House. It crashed.
There's no
No.
coercion.
You
in
can't say they don't
corporations.
force you. You can't say
The
they don't
government
force
has a monopoly on violence. The government is the one that
Well,
coerces.
You're
missing my point. I agree with you. This is what I'm trying to say about the whole America thing. So.
Okay,
yeah,
but wait,
the
no.
United
Here's where you got. I think this is where I hear this like conservative bullshit, and they're always like, this like remnants of the George W. era where we would, and even what is that movie like where they're like America, fuck yeah, and it was like dolls, and they were shooting everything, and they made their fucking song. It was just naming off corporations. And like there was this weird worship of the free markets and capitalism and okay, capitalism is better than any other system we've seen, but it doesn't mean that that it can't be like really fucking obscene. And to act like corporations aren't like they can't mistreat people, like they aren't something you should be pessimistic towards and question, just like you question your own fucking government.
Hello?
I mean, and yes, some corporations fucking suck. Like, he would just steal whatever it is that you ended up creating, and then he would tie you up in litigation for fucking years. He has the money to do it, and as soon as that, and basically by the time, the case would have gone through, I mean, nothing would really happen to him. It's his fucking car.
But actually, Pepe, I would argue that the corporations still have to answer to what's now become a lot stricter laws on the ability to go after, shareholders' derivative actions and 10b5s. I mean, there's a lot more ability to get redress against corporations than there were before. I mean, there are still states like Delaware with very, liberal laws to protect, under their corporate statutes, but there still is a way for the public to get some relief from what those corporations are the damage that they're doing, and that's why there's.
Edward, I think why most people here are so retarded is because they're not musical. The Bible is actually lyrics. People think it's just, wisdom. No, it's lyrics to a song, Edward. And all these people who come to Clown House day after day after day, they're not musically inclined, Edward. Jesus was a musician, a politician, and a magician. I give you the world famous retard faggot pee-pee!
Power is going to be the shareholders, then it's going to be the company, and then it's basically the person that they end up ripping off their IP or, their employees. They're kind of more or less on the shit end of the stick. And I'm not like a person who's pro-union or any of that shit, but I mean, I do think that
scab,
like companies, in comparison to the past, they've offered fewer benefits.
This monopoly that you're making it out to be. Same thing with big telco, like telecommunications companies. The lie is that government doesn't stop monopolies. Government creates.
Okay, Edward, I'm going to take a break from that room. I'm going to play some John Kitover AI music, and I'm going to go back to that room shortly, but taking a little break. Here we go.
great gate, being eight in one and one in eight. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular and slow. Pacific soon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs in hence, all ever after o'er thy vigilance. And whence and keen turned inward miss no atom of analysis. Sixth, on one thought securely tin, still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next, still that ecstasy prolong, thy meditations deep and strong, slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last, all these things in one o'erpowered, time that the midnight blossom flowered. The oneness is yet even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression, shoot thy lips to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master I revere. Thy radiance that rose afar, brother of the silver Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. To man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will,
Tao can be talked about, but not the eternal Tao. Names can be named, but not the eternal name. As the origin of heaven and earth, it is nameless. As the mother of all things, it is nameable. So, as ever hidden, we should look at its inner essence. When all the world recognizes beauty as beauty, this in itself is ugliness. When all the world recognizes good as good, this in itself is evil.
Indeed, the hidden and the manifest give birth to each other. Difficult and easy complement each other. Long and short exhibit each other. High and low set measure to each other. Voice and sound harmonize each other. Back and front follow each other. Therefore the sage manages his affairs without ado, and spreads his teaching without talking. He denies nothing to the team in things he rears them, but lays no claim to them. He does his work but sets no store by it. He accomplishes his task but does not dwell upon it. And yet it is just because he does not dwell on it that nobody can ever take it away from him.
As always manifest, we should look at its outer aspects.
It's almost over for AFC.
These two flow
She's
from the
13.
same source, though differently named.
Alright, we're gonna jump back into the clown house real quick.
Much, I don't know. But then, they would, one of them was telling me, like, his son, he injured himself and he had to have surgery, and then it's like the medications, the surgery, everything's covered. And according to him, it happened immediately. That does.
I've heard that with Germany too, Pepe. Germany supposedly has excellent healthcare system. So maybe it is a Canadian problem.
No. Germany has the same health, what they call with cancer.
Then both are called mysteries. The mystery of mysteries is the door of all essence.
By not exalting the talented, you will cause the people to cease from rivalry and contention. By not prizing goods hard to get, you will cause the people to cease from robbing and stealing. By not displaying what is desirable, you will cause the people's hearts to remain undisturbed. Therefore, the sage's way of governing begins by emptying the heart of desires, filling the belly with food, weakening the ambitions, toughening the bones. In this way, he will cause the people to remain without knowledge and without desire, and prevent the knowing ones from any idol. Practice none at all, and everything will be in order.
The Tao is like an empty bowl, which in being used can never be filled up fathomless. It seems to be the origin of all things. It burns so sharp as is, it unties all tangles, it ramifies all the earth. It unites the world. lasts long and earth abides? What is the secret of their durability? Is it not because they do not live for themselves that they can live so long? Therefore the site wants to remain behind, but finds himself at the head of others, reckons himself out, but finds himself safe and secure. Is it not because he is selfless that his self is realized? The highest form of goodness is like water. Water knows how to benefit. It flows without strife and decay. It stays in place, is loved by all men. Therefore, it comes near the tower. In choosing your dwelling, know how to keep to the ground. Tao can be talked about, but not the eternal Tao. Names can be named, but not the eternal name. As the origin of heaven and earth, it is nameless. As the mother of all things, it is nameable. So, as ever hidden, we should look at its inner essence. When all the world recognizes beauty as beauty, this in itself is ugliness. When all the world recognizes good as good, this in itself is evil. Indeed, the hidden and the manifest give birth to each other. Difficult and easy complement each other. On and short exhibit each other. High and low set measure to each other. Voice and sound harmonize each other. Back and front follow each other. Therefore the sage manages his affairs without ado, and spreads his teaching without talking. Hidden ears, nothing to the teething things. He rears them but lays no claim to them. He does his work but sets no store by it. He accomplishes his task but does not dwell upon it. And yet it is just because he does not dwell on it that nobody can ever take it away from him. As always manifest, we should look at its outer aspects. These two flow from the same source, though differently named, and both are called mysteries. The mystery of mysteries is the door of all essence. By not exalting the talented, you will cause the people to cease from rivalry and contention. By not prizing goods hard to get, you will cause the people to cease from robbing and stealing. By not displaying what is desirable, you will cause the people's hearts to remain undisturbed. Therefore, the sage's way of governing begins by emptying the heart of desire, filling the belly with food, weakening the ambitions, toughening the bones. In this way, he will cause the people to remain without knowledge and without desire, and prevent the knowing ones from any ado. Practice non-ado, and everything will be puts the world into a hole hidden in the deeps, yet it seems to exist forever. I do not know whose child it is. It seems to be the common ancestor of all, the father of things. Heaven and earth is not sentimental, it treats all things as raw dogs. To say he's not sentimental, he treats all his people as straw dogs. Between heaven and earth, there seems to be a bellows. It is empty and yet it is inexhaustible. The more it works, the more comes out of it. No amount of words can fathom a better look for it within you. The spirit of the fountain dies not, it is called the mysterious feminine. The doorway of the mysterious feminine is called the root of heaven and earth. Lingering like gossamer, it has only a hint of existence. And yet, when you draw upon it, it is inexhaustible. Heaven lasts long and earth abides. What is the secret of their durability? Is it not because they do not live for themselves that they can live so long? Therefore the sage wants to remain behind, but finds himself at the head of others, reckons himself out, but finds himself safe and secure. Is it not because he is selfless that his self is realized? The highest form of goodness is like water. Water knows how to benefit all things without striving within. It stays in place, is loved by all men. Therefore it comes near the town. In choosing your dwelling, know how to keep to the ground. In cultivating your morning, know how to dive in the hidden deeps. In dealing with others, know how to be gentle and kind. In speaking, know how to keep your words. In governing, know how to maintain order. In transacting business, know how to be efficient. In making move, know how to choose the right moment. If you do not strive with others, you will be free from blame. As for holding to fullness, far better were it to stop in time. Keep on beating and sharpening a sword, and the edge cannot be preserved for long. Fill your house with gold and jade, and it can no longer be guarded. Set store by your riches and
If you are walking lost in wonder, empty of self and mindful of reality, and suddenly you interrupt this piece to exclaim, how beautiful is this tree, how magnificent this field. You forfeit life, the intrusion of self, and the imposing of judgment separates you from reality and snares you in the net of words. Be still and know, embrace it all in silence. Be careful with words. C-O-W gives no milk. M-A-N-U-R-E has no stench. L-O-V philosophy knows no passion. Mistake words for truth, and you exile yourself from reality. Others may follow and drink the poison of your confusion. They will die, and truth will be defiled. Hillel and Shammai received the teaching from Shemaiah and Naphtalian. Hillel said, "Be disciples of Aaron, loving peace and acting peacefully, loving people and drawing them to reality." Pursuing fame is self-destructive. It distracts us from reality and focuses our energy on ourselves. Those who do not increase knowledge, decrease knowledge. But don't mistake knowledge for talk. One who knows acts knowingly, fools talk, and that talk too often fools. Those who cease to learn cease to live. Life is learning, attending to reality. Anything less is the sleepwalk of death. Those who misuse knowledge shall not endure, for only reality endures. If you are not attending to reality, where are you? If I am only for myself, who will be for me? If I am only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? Attend to reality diligently, say little and do much. Receive all people with kindness. Make yourself a sage. Rely upon reality, not authority. Free yourself from crippling self-consciousness. Attend to each moment and act without hesitation. Do not time by guesswork. Justice is not a matter of whim. Today you may feel generous. Tomorrow you may feel stingy. Give what is just because it is just. Among the sages. All my life I listened to their words, yet I have found nothing better than silence. Study is not the goal, doing is do not mistake talk for action. Pity fills no stomach, compassion builds no house. Understanding is not yet justice. Whoever multiplies words causes confusion. The truth that can be spoken is not the ultimate truth. Ultimate truth is wordless. The silence within the silence. More than the absence of speech, more than the absence of words. Ultimate truth is the seamless being in place that comes with attending to reality. The world stands upon three things: upon truth, upon peace, upon justice. Speak truth each to the other, establish peace, and render honest judgment in your gates. What is the right path for person to follow? One that honors both self and other. Be attentive in all you do. Do not judge. shouldn't be done. If your words shouldn't be shared, perhaps they shouldn't be spoken. Act with attention, for all your deeds have consequence. Engrossed in study, engaged in good work, one forget selfish desire. Learning without labor is barren. It does nothing to better the world. Gray air without learning is empty. It does nothing to enlighten the world. If employed by the community, labor for people and not for power. If you carry on the good work of your predecessors, their merit lives to stay.
If you are walking lost in wonder, empty of self, and mindful of reality, and suddenly you interrupt this peace to exclaim, how beautiful is this tree, how magnificent this field. You forfeit life. The intrusion of self and the imposing of judgment separates you from reality and snares you in the net of words. Be still and know. Embrace it all in silence. Careful with words. C-O-W gives no M-A-U-R-E has no stench. L-O-V-E knows no passion. Mistake words for truth, and you exile yourself from reality. Others may follow and drink the poison of your confusion. They will die and truth will be defiled. Hillel and Shammai received the teaching from Shemaiah and Avtalion. Hillel said, be disciples of Aaron, loving peace and acting peacefully, loving people and drawing them to reality. Pursuing fame is self-destructive. It distracts us from reality and focuses our energy on ourselves. Those who do not increase knowledge, decrease knowledge. But don't mistake knowledge for talk. One who knows acts knowingly. Fools talk and their talk too often fools. Those who cease to learn, cease to live. Life is learning, attending to reality. Anything less is the sleepwalk of death. Those who misuse knowledge shall not endure, for only reality endures. If you are not attending to reality, where are you? If I am only for myself, who will be for me? If I am only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? Attend to reality diligently, say little and do much, receive all people with kindness, make yourself a sage, rely upon reality, not authority, free yourself from crippling self-consciousness, attend to each moment and act without hesitation. Do not tithe by guesswork. Justice is not a matter of whim. Today you may feel generous. Tomorrow you may feel stingy. Give what is just because it is just. I grew up among the sages. All my life I listened to their words. Yet I have found nothing better than silence. Study is not the goal, doing is do not mistake talk for action. Pity is wordless. The silence within the silence. More than the absence of speech, more than the absence of words, ultimate truth is the seamless being in place that comes with attending to reality. The world stands upon three things: upon truth, upon peace, upon justice. Speak truth each to the other, establish peace, and render honest judgment in your gates. What is the right path for a person to follow? One that honors both self and other. Be attentive in all you do. Do not judge one deed small and another great, for you cannot always know their significance. Be virtuous, even if virtue is costly. Avoid sin, even if sin is profitable. Remember three things and you will not fail. If your deeds shouldn't be known, perhaps they shouldn't be done. If your words shouldn't be shared, perhaps they shouldn't be spoken. Act with attention, for all your deeds have consequence. Engrossed in study, engaged in good work, one forgets selfish desire. Learning without labor is fun. It does nothing to better the world. Labor without learning is empty. It does nothing to enlighten the world. If employed by the community, labor for the people and not for power. If you carry on the good work of your predecessors, their merit will sustain you. Their righteousness will endure through you. And you will be credited with great success, as if you had accomplished the task alone. Be wary of those in power, for their friendship is often a matter of convenience. They appear as friends when it suits them, but they will not stand by you in time of need. Desire only that which has already been given. Want only that which you already have. As a river empties into the ocean, empty yourself into reality. When you are empty into reality, you are filled with compassion, desiring only justice. When you desire only justice, the will of reality becomes your will. When you are filled with compassion, there is...
Tao can be talked about, but not the eternal Tao. Names can be named, but not the eternal name. As the origin of heaven and earth, it is nameless. As the mother of all things, it is nameable. So, as ever hidden, we should look at its inner. and the manifests give birth to each other. Difficult and easy complement each other. Long and short exhibit each other. High and low set measure to each other. Voice and sound harmonize each other. Back and front follow each other. Therefore the sage manages his affairs without a dome, and spreads his teaching without talking. He denies nothing to the teeming things. He rears them but lays no claim to them. He does his work but sets no store by it. He accomplishes his task but does not dwell upon it. And yet it is just because he does not dwell on it that nobody can ever take it away from him. As always manifest, we should look at its outer aspects. These two flow from the same source, but differently named, and both are called mysteries. The mystery of mysteries is the door of all essence. By not exalting the talent, you will cause the people to cease from rivalry and contention. By not prizing goods hard to get, you will cause the people to cease from robbing on the stealing. By not displaying what is desirable, you will cause the people's hearts to remain undisturbed. Therefore the sage's way of governing begins by emptying the heart of desires, filling the belly with food, weakening the ambitions, toughening the bones. In this way he will cause the people to remain without knowledge and without desire, and prevent the knowing ones from any ado. Practice non-ado, and everything will be in order. The town is like an empty bowl, which in being used can never be filled. Unfathomless, it seems to be the origin of all
I would like to answer this question very quickly and succinctly. You are absolutely not a Protestant because you have no work ethic. You're here on this app all day long. This site is hiring people to watch.
There is one light of the sun, though it is distributed. Over walls, mountains, and other things infinite there. There is one common substance, though it is distributed. Among countless bodies which have their several qualities. There is one soul, though it is distributed. Among infinite natures and circumspections, there is one intelligent soul, though it seems to be divided now in the things which have been mentioned, all the other parts, such as those which are air and substance, are without sensation and have no fellowship. And yet even these parts the intelligent principle holds together, and the gravitating towards the same. But acts, but only 3 of them.
Consider more liberal or conservative, at least in the United States, and we can see throughout the world where this is kind of worked out.
That's what
But you cannot see it with libertarians.
I am telling you.
Just like with communists, you guys have a zero track record of success.
Zero track record.
Where have the libertarians taken? Where do you guys literally where is your model ended up producing any fruitful results? They never has, just like communism never has.
Give me a second. But Pepe, Hanson, no, don't go that far. Hanson, relax.
No cursing.
Okay, I moved him. Hello. I just wanted to announce that. Hello, can you hear me? Thank you. I just wanted to announce I moved him down to the audience. I got tired of listening to that fucking asshole.